single woman in this city, you have two choices. You can bang your head against the wall and try and find a relationship, or you can say screw it and just go out and have sex like a man.
You mean with dildos?
No, I mean without feeling.
Samantha Jones was a New York inspiration, a public relations executive. She routinely slept with good-looking guys in their 20s.
Remember that guy that I was going out with? Oh, God, what was his name? Drew. The sex god. Right. Well, afterwards, I didn't feel a thing. It was like, hey, babe, gotta go. Catch you later.
I don't know if you guys are ready for today's Samantha Jones deep dive because it's not going to be the angle that you expect.
Oh, no, you're not ready.
Because in our opinion, Samantha Jones was a perfect definition for radical self-love, but it's not real. She used self-love as a cloak throughout the whole show.
Yeah, and she's so good that she has been able to pretend for so long that you guys think what she does is she's eating down. This is the lifestyle. This is what you're supposed to be. I'm always hearing youngins talking about how, oh my God, like, I'm a Samantha, bitch.
Everyone's like Samantha's the true queen of self-love. Samantha Jones.
Samantha. She's eating down. I want to be her. And I'm like, girl, you all day because you're always in pain, and love hurts because that's how Samantha felt.
But before we get started, my name is Mel.
And I'm Charles.
And we make all forms of unfiltered content.
And make self-development fun.
So make sure that you subscribe and become a Remy Rebel today. The fuck is you doing?
Yeah, get your life.
People often recognize Samantha for her sex positive nature, and people see her as like this feminist icon. But I want to challenge that thought because in my opinion, she uses sex as a tool for validation throughout the whole show. And most of the time she would go have sex with someone to feel better about herself or feel more worthy after something bad happened.
Yeah. She just used sex as a tool to make her just feel better about herself, because it feels like that was the way to make, when she looked in the mirror, when based off of the type of guy she has sex with, that's how she feels good about herself. It doesn't really seem like it always came from within.
A perfect example of this is in the first season when Samantha came across Mr. Big. Number one, it's really funny when she hit on Mr. Big, he wasn't into her. That was a huge blow to Samantha's self-esteem. Not only did she approach him and she smoked a cigar and she kept doing this with the cigar. I personally don't find it sexy when women try to show a man how good they are in bed through like those weird type of actions. Innuendos. Like, to me, like, that's classless is what I would call that. That's my opinion. And she does that a lot. So that for me, number one, was a major ick.
And there she went, off to take her best shot with Mr. Big.
Really uncool.
I've got this great source that sends me Hondurans. You want to try one?
No, thank you.
Oh, you can't find them anywhere.
Cahibas. That's all I smoke.
Look, I do the PR for this club, and I have a key to the private room downstairs.
Really?
You want a private tour?
No, thanks. But maybe another time.
Meanwhile,
So then she got rejected by him, and I feel like that was a huge blow to her self-esteem. And what did she do? She went to the guy that she used to be with, the guy that broke her heart. She hooks up with him. He said, just so you know, I have work in the morning, so you can't stay here tonight. Remember her face?
She looks so hurt.
Heartbroken.
So hurt.
So it's funny how he was treating her like a lady of the night. You came here for that, but you were still hurt that he was treating you like that.
And it doesn't make sense because I keep being told that she feels so empowered. Does that represent someone empowered in that moment?
It doesn't make sense because, number one, she only hooked up with Dominic because Mr. Big rejected her. That is already showing you she goes and seeks out sexual partners to get validated. Like, that's literally what she does.
Do y'all remember when she was dating Maria, the woman?
Random gay moment.
Yeah.
Random ass gay moment.
That was like I didn't expect it, but she's down for whatever. So her and Maria were together. She was having a great time with her, but then Maria wanted closeness. She wanted depth. They were enjoying sleeping together, but then Samantha's like, whoa, like, where is this coming from?
She wants emotional intimacy. And you guys don't realize Samantha uses self-love as a cloak, like her radical self-love and like radical obsession with casual sex as a cloak to not let you guys and her friends know how emotionally fragile she is and how emotional intimacy is her greatest fear, to the point that she lives her life in these extremes in order to avoid emotional closeness. There's nothing empowering about that. Next. So when Samantha was dating Maria started, first of all, Maria is a woman. It's expected. As women, we are supposed to be more emotionally in tune. That's why when you're not, there is a part of your femininity that is blocked. Samantha Jones may have mastered dark femininity. She may have got that down, but her light femininity does not exist, which is why she's still wounded at the end of the day, because she, in her own way, leans on being masculine as a protective shield. She'll always say, like, think like a man. And like, I understand that. Like I get the whole think like a man thing.
It's important to have that as a tool. I don't think there's anything wrong having that, because we all need that. Because to be strategy in dating, etc. But you don't actually take it there all
and
the way. And
become a man.
And literally be a man.
So when it came to her relationship with Maria and the woman is requiring emotional intimacy, Samantha literally reacted like how a man would. And she's like, oh, you're trying to get emotional with me? I thought sex was our thing.
This man was here for nothing but sex.
Yes, which I used to enjoy and haven't had much of since I got into this relationship.
You call this a relationship?
Well, it's tedious and the sex is dwindling, so from what I've heard, yes.
If you have something to say to me.
I have nothing to say to you. I am fresh out of things to say to you. All we ever do is talk, talk, talk. The talking in our relationship has replaced the fucking in our fucking relationship. I don't want talk. I want passion. I want fireworks.
Oh! Do you want fireworks? I'll show you fireworks! Ah! That's fireworks! Oh!
What are you doing?
Here!
Stop it! Ah! Stop! Stop! Oh, my plates!
These are not your plates! You don't even cook!
And also because Samantha only sees sex as the only thing she can bring to the table. She doesn't have anything else to bring to the table. So she feels like very threatened by you saying like, let's actually put that to the side and open up and do something different and like really show ourselves. So she's like, let's just keep having sex. I'm
good at that.
I'm good at that. That's what makes me feel good because I know I can handle that. So she's like, it's like going to school and you get a report card. She's like, I keep getting Fs. Why would I keep going to that class? Like, I'm not interested.
But when it comes to the extracurriculars, I'm killing it.
I get A's. Like, I'm getting down to business.
And I feel like because Samantha used self-love as a cloak, she could never be vulnerable enough to even share with her friends, like, that this is the truth. Like, I have a small fear about being open with men. Like, men don't make me feel safe, so I'd rather just have sex. Instead, she'll say stuff like, people are only judge you based on how good you are in bed. The rest doesn't matter. She tries to convince everyone else to get in her ideology so she can feel better about herself.
Yeah, she always shames the other women for wanting to even when I see their effort in trying to improve as women or being vulnerable as women should be. She looks at that like, whoa, calm down. We don't do that over here. Please get on my level.
Literally. We watched Sex and the City maybe like 3 months ago, but we binge watched it. Like, we watched the entire thing beginning to end, and I found Samantha's character to be one of my least favorite next to Miranda, and that's because she came off extremely one-dimensional to me. It just became repetitive, and every episode was a performance about how she and this guy, what kind of thing they're doing in bed, how she feels validated by it. Oh my God, these orgasms. Oh my God, guys, I'm having sex with the guy who has horrible tasting spunk, and then you're gonna spend time trying to make someone's jizzness taste good so that it'll taste good in your mouth when you service him. I've struggled so much understanding how that was like.
I didn't get it.
I'm dating a guy with the funkiest tasting spunk. Bottle of Beaujolais Nouveau the first day of season.
I can't drink that.
Oh, try it. It's very good for you. Bottoms up.
10 minutes later, Samantha learned just how far a man would go for a blowjob.
That to me was like, that's you. I don't rate myself activity. Not only do I not have an emotional connection, so he's actually a stranger because she don't do emotional connection. I'm trying to get a stranger's jizz to taste good for him
What
to
reason,
jizz
really?
in my mouth.
So, in my opinion, when I look at all of this, I see Samantha is someone who just, it doesn't make sense to me that you avoid emotional intimacy, but when it comes to sex with random strangers, you're willing to work on that. But you don't want to open up. You don't want to do the work with someone who, when they come and show you, like, I actually want to be open with you, that's not worth it. But when it comes to random weirdos and creeps on the street, you're willing to work with them sexually.
That shows you how much of her identity is tied to sexual pleasure, and that's not empowering. That's very wounded, and that is not good. Like, she has problems. And it's a great point what she brought up, that Samantha doesn't work on emotional relationships, she works on sexual ones. If think about this, happened in multiple connections, multiple relationships, she would work on the sex. They are not dating. She'd be like, okay, like, remember was it when she first met Smith, it was all sex? She would try all these different positions, like
different, like everything, different vibes, different.
Yeah.
She'd try to look like a maid. Like, she'd try everything.
And with other guys, she does this. Like, when it comes to sex, we can definitely work on our sexual relationship, but like the guy who had the small penis or whatever, as soon as he wanted to have a, like,
go to therapy, is that the one? Small penis guy?
Yeah,
small penis guy really wanted to get to therapy, you know? And she was ready to poop her pants because she was like, hell no, I'm not going to therapy. And Carrie even voiced it, saying that's like the worst thing in the world, that she wants nothing to do with. That's not her style.
And why do you think that, guys?
That involves emotional vulnerability.
Yeah. Another time she used sex as validation, and we could talk about this all day because quite literally that's about the main thing of her character. When she got with Richard, that was the first time. Not only was it the first time that she got emotionally vulnerable, and she was terrified. Think about it, when they were dancing, and she's out here trying to grab his D. He's trying to be intimate with her and play music outside, and she keeps trying to grab his D. Like, she's like, babe, like,
I just want to know, who in the world wants to be manhandled like that 24/7? What human wants that?
like, no.
That is literally disgusting.
Like, no.
Am I a freaking animal?
Absolutely not. Like,
You must be an animal if that's what you do.
and I feel like she was constantly doing things like that.
Like, what am I? Like, what am I?
Hey, girl.
Chopped liver?
And then he cheats on her. And what does she do to feel validated? She goes and has casual sex with a bunch of men. This is constant throughout the show, and it's not cute for me. I was like, ugh, this is repetitive. This character is so annoying. Like, you're so not open to growth. She's so unopen to growth. It's one thing for her to have had this like perspective on life because of her heartbreak, and we watch her realize how she's not happy with this and how she wants more, and we watch her slowly break out of these things. But that's not what happened, is it?
No, none of that happened. If anything, I feel like what they're trying to show is that when they were trying to show her a little bit of emotional maturity with Smith and her cancer, they're trying to show her like, oh, she's really opening up. You know, like, she's really, to me, that was like borderline. I think you guys ruined it by making her backslide. I was like, backslide into her masculine energy again.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why the writers did that with her character, because honestly, first of all, her whole relationship with Smith showed you how much her fear of emotional intimacy basically destroyed them into the end. And I'm going to explain why. Because in Sex and the City, the movie, she freaks out because Valentine's Day comes around and she's in the house laying down. She puts sushi on her body. She's trying to romance him. He had work, so he didn't come. He didn't spend Valentine's Day with her.
But like, what's the issue? At first, I thought he was so disrespectful. I was like, wow, like he didn't give a damn. But then Melissa made a great point and told me, like, why would he care if she has been constantly saying, let me see that dick, like whispered twin, let me see that dick.
She's always like, hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in your ear. She's not trying to get deep. She said, put that deepness and shove it up your ass. And also, I didn't appreciate how she villainized him. Like, he just didn't come home. Like, Smith called you and said, I'm running late. I'm busy with work. It's not his fault that you didn't get the message because you were laying as a sushi platter.
Yeah, you were laying bare, vulnerable, open.
You see how the writers did that on purpose, guys. She was laying herself bare, literally, emotionally. But you see how she took it as an insult? That doesn't make, when she's emotionally vulnerable, she feels so naked. Like, the fact that you didn't show up.
Shivering cold, like.
The fact that, like, when Carrie didn't go to France.
I am such an idiot!
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I was like, ugh, yawn.
She's out here throwing food at him. She's mad and yelling at him, and he doesn't even understand. Why would he understand? All Samantha does is reject his warmth and tell him that's not what she needs.
So now she's like screaming at him. It's called sabotage. Samantha sabotages anything that could potentially be good because she believes deep down that she is unworthy.
And she doesn't deserve it. So we're here to tell you that your self-love queen has been lying to you. And
she's like the self-love band-aid. That's what she is.
Yeah, it's literally bull crap.
This is all a band-aid. It's time to rip it off.
If she was actually emotionally mature and emotionally vulnerable, she would have sat him down when he came home and told him how I was hurt today, and he would have been like, why? She's like, because today I actually wanted to spend Valentine's Day with you. Like, I actually did all these different things and I was actually really excited. So when you didn't show up, I felt like you didn't care. I promise you.
He would have done the craziest grand gesture to show her how much he cared. I bet you, like, he would literally do something crazy the next day.
He's so kind. We watched his character. He would have been like, oh my God, I think he would have been sad. But instead, what did he come home to? Because she doesn't feel safe in her feminine, which that would have been a feminine reaction, by the way, what I just did. She did a masculine.
You have not worked through your issues, so you're going to keep blocking your blessings. And when you don't work on yourself, you block blessings and you end up alone. Period. If you're interested in being alone, by all means, keep effing things up.
And you can be in your Samantha, I want to love myself more. Yeah, and there we go again with the self-love cloak. Everything we've described to you today, this isn't self-love. This is a shield to emotional vulnerability. This is a lie. Samantha Jones is a liar.
Yeah, she's a scammer, and I'm here to say it. Y'all never caught on. Y'all thought she was normal.
And we basically want to end this video off by saying you don't want to be like Samantha Jones, because Samantha was afraid of emotional vulnerability and she was afraid of love. So instead, she became New York's top hoe. She couldn't remember how many bodies she had. She also didn't even care about her own. You can tell Samantha doesn't fully love herself because she's having sex with all of New York.
She's a whore. She's half of New York.
And she doesn't even
know
how many bodies she has. And she also doesn't check on her sexual health.
How many sexual partners have you had?
I'm counting. This year?
That makes no sense. You don't check. You don't go to the doctor. And you also don't know how many bodies you had. You said this year? You replied this year?
Yeah, that was wild. And another thing, I also think, Samantha, you can be trifling with your friends, constantly making them feel weird for being openly emotional and vulnerable. That's why I said y'all need to understand. You need to realize that this could be a friend of yours blocking your blessings because you want to be open and vulnerable and be feminine. And she's laughing at you saying, girl, like, what is you on about? Like, oh my God, go. Like, she loved ridiculing Charlotte and all of them. Oh, like, it's been 3 weeks and you haven't hit. Like, girl, like, what's wrong with you?
She's always telling her friends, focus on that dick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, Jesus Christ. Do you have other things to say? Or like, seriously, do you have something else to say?
Really, if anything, it's always just like this dark viewpoint on relationships.
Samantha didn't believe in the first date, but she did believe in sex after it.
I don't understand why women are so obsessed about getting married. I mean, married people just want to be single again. You can tell a man, I hate you. You have the best sex of your life. But tell him, I love you. You'll probably never see him again.
And I don't think that's true. That's a limiting belief. Samantha was all about limiting beliefs, didn't believe that things can be better and the grass could be greener.
Yeah, and we don't want you to be like Samantha Jones. And if you don't want to be like Samantha Jones and you enjoyed this video, make sure to like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe
to the Remy Diaries, aka Remy TV, your favorite YouTube streaming network, where you'll never want to change the channel.